guys, welcome back to another episode of From the Heart. I'm your host, Trca, and today we're going to be doing an episode on habits. All of the habits that I have been utilizing and doing in my life that have truly made a big impact, have changed my life for the better. I love listening to these podcasts myself when I'm on walks. I just think it's fascinating, and honestly, I can learn a lot from people, just hearing what they like to do, habits that they've incorporated that have helped, and I love to apply them to my life and also reap the benefits of them. And so all of these, don't take lightly. I'm telling you, these have really made an impact. And these are habits from quite a variety of different types of habits. We have like your wellness habits, mindset habits. We have like beauty and that kind of realm of habits. So it's going to be a variety. It's not just one specific like style. But I'm excited to get into it because again, like I'm a queen of habits, of routines, and I just think that habits are kind of the formula for success. You got to apply habits into your life because habits are the way you can stay on track. They're kind of like the non-conscious, unconscious, behavioral patterns. You don't have to think about it, but you can still stay on track. You don't have to be constantly be like stressed about making the right decisions, because if you have good habits formed, it's pretty easy. You just kind of follow along. It's kind of like a preset to success, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's get into the first habit. I have these written down in my phone. So habit number 1 is gonna be, of course, where is it? Okay. The thing about me, if you're watching this, my notes apps are crazy. I put every single thought ever into the same note. It's not organized. I'm not an OCD type person. My brain kind of works in like a jumbled mess. So that's what my notes app is. But the first one, and this one is probably one of the most important that I can't go without. I can't go without a daily walk, especially in the sunshine, if at all possible, or sunset. I try to do 2 walks a day, 2 like 20-minute walks a day. I think that this kind of stemmed from the 75 hard. This is what this taught me, is how good it feels to get outside and be in the sunshine. Vitamin D is huge. It just boosts my mood, my serotonin. I've also noticed too, when I'm feeling groggy and tired, I kind of hit like a midday slump, especially if you work from home or you have like an office job or you're just sitting a lot. You can get kind of sleepy and tired and your body just like goes into, I don't know, like sleep mode. And every time I get that feeling when I'm starting to like doze off or I'm just getting, I don't know, I go outside and I go on a walk and it resets me. I'm revamped. I love these walks. They're like single-handedly a lifesaver for me in my career. I'm not kidding you. Because you just get the blood flowing. And once you get the blood flowing, you're good. I always say that when I'm lazy and I don't want to go to the gym. I'm like, I just got to get the blood flowing and I'm like in the zone. So the walk allows me to kind of energize myself and get back into the zone for work. And also I like to utilize these walks for whatever I kind of need. I feel like every different hour of the day I need like something different. But sometimes when I'm like in a work slump or a creativity slump, I go on a walk, or sometimes I'll go on a walk and I'll scroll Pinterest to get inspo, or sometimes I'm just feeling stressed, I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I go and I just clear my thoughts, or I'll go on like a prayer walk and I just talk to Jesus and I just pray to myself. I just kind of brain dump, and I kind of use it as like a therapy walk. Sometimes I call a family member or a friend. Sometimes I just listen to a podcast. Like walking, honestly, I do not take lightly. Like when I'm walking, it's with a purpose, whether I'm listening to worship music, singing to little Jesus, or I'm praying. Those are probably my favorite to do at sunset. I think it's just something about it. I don't know. Just like sunset and sunrises are like I don't know, they keep me so grounded and they make me so happy. It's like my thing. And so I feel the most connected to God during those times, I would say. So I love to pray and listen to worship music when I do those. But midday, when I'm in that slump, I use my walks as creativity, like walks, I guess. And honestly, I think just getting the blood flowing gets the blood flowing through my brain and literally makes me more creative. It gives me a fresh perspective on stuff. So that's what I like to do. Or I just go on a walk with a friend, and that's also really nice too. Like me and my brother will go, me and my boyfriend will go on walks together, and we just chat. And honestly, it brings up the best conversations. Like during the 75 hard, Jake and I had like amazing deep conversations. We had some like revelations. We had some like idea kind of brainstorming walks. You just kind of reflect and check in, and I think it's so fun. Like definitely call up a friend, meet up with a friend and go on a walk. There's so many like pretty trails you could go on a walk on. It doesn't, like, I literally usually just walk around my neighborhood, but I do love going on like little trail walks or in more of like a scenic area. So it can be an activity, it can be used for creativity, it can be used therapeutically. Like, walking is my biggest lifesaver habit tip. Like, go walk more. You're not walking enough, I promise. But yeah, I love to do all different things during them, whatever I kind of need in that moment. So habit number 2, drinking water. I know these might seem simple, but like, I really want to emphasize the fact that you're probably not drinking enough water. Again, if you've never heard this, you should be drinking half your body weight in ounces a day. So for example, say you weigh 120 pounds, you should be drinking at least 60 ounces of water a day. That's kind of a lot. A gallon is like 128 ounces. I was drinking a gallon a day during the 75 hard, and I would say my skin looked the best, my energy levels were the best. There was a lot. I never had like headaches, and it really proved to me how important water is, because then right after the 75 hard, I like let off the gas and I was not drinking enough water. I was probably drinking, so if you're watching this, for example, 3 of these is a gallon. These are like my 40 ounces. Well, it's like 120 ounces, so it's a little shy of a gallon, but I would drink 3 of these a day. I maybe get 2 down, which again is about 60 ounces, which I weigh more than 120 pounds, so it's not exactly enough, but I also drink other things too, that I do account for a little bit. But 3 of these, it's really not that hard. Everyone, let's take a sip right now while we're listening. But truly, like, hydration affects so much, and it also can affect like your hunger and stuff. A lot of times I used to confuse like dehydration with hunger, and that, like, your body sometimes can like misread that. And I think the biggest thing for me though is energy. Like, it gives me more energy. I just feel more energized. I'm always like craving more energy. I don't know why I'm such a tired person. I'm pretty on the go a lot and I'm pretty active, but still, like, water is like my secret sauce. It's kind of my fix to everything. When I have a headache, when I'm tired, when I'm not feeling well, I'm like, water. I probably haven't drank water. You can't overhydrate, and I want to emphasize that. Don't overhydrate, because that can also be just as bad, but it's pretty hard to do. You have to be like chugging nonstop. Like, you shouldn't be peeing every 30 seconds. That means like you're good. Like, you're processing it too fast, and then you can like actually pee out important like minerals and vitamins in your body. So don't do that, but definitely just try to like pace it and get water in throughout the day. It really, like I said, it just helps with my energy, helps with my like my hunger levels. I can't think of the word right now, I'm blanking. But yeah, it's just really important, and I think it's often overlooked and misunderstood. Like, I used to just be like, I don't like the taste of water, I'm not going to drink it. Bad idea, Chloe. Drink your water. And then with that also too, hydration supplements. I think getting minerals in your water is huge. A lot of people, none of this is sponsored, but a lot of people drink those element packets. I have a few different like electrolyte supplements that I've gotten in PR that I drink. Minerals in your water is really important. I haven't done much research on it, so I'm not going to like talk about it, but I do know that like you need minerals in your water too. So look into that. But honestly, guys, like, you can kind of make your water fun too. Like, if you kind of get sick of it, add some fruit in your water. I honestly too, I really like Stir, which is, it's like a healthier version of Mio. It's more natural, and I got sent a huge PR of it, and I'd already been buying it myself, so I was like really excited. But it's so good, and it helps me kind of get down those last like 20 ounces if I need at the end of the day. I kind of use it as like a treat in a sense, being like, oh, I drank a whole 1.5 of these or 2 of these. I'll have like not a Mio, but like a Stir water, flavored water. Utilize it like that, and it definitely helps you get in the ounces for sure. Okay, another habit that I've incorporated in my mornings. Oh, you guys, I love this one so much. I daily journal, read a book, and read my Bible. This stemmed from 75 hard, and I do this every day. I think it's the best right in the morning, but sometimes I'll do it at a coffee shop if I'm working at a coffee shop, or sometimes I do it to wind myself down for bed. But 75 hard, I did this 75 days in a row, and when I tell you I mentally was the best version of myself, I was the best version of myself. Journaling in itself, I I undervalued. I really did, because I'm like, what do I have to journal about? I was never like a creative writer, creative thinker, never been to therapy or anything, which I probably should. I think that's like a really proactive thing to do. But it was therapeutic for me because it forced me to like kind of brain dump and write things down. I would write prayers out. I would write to God. I'd write to myself. Sometimes I would just write how my day is going, things I was struggling with. And then a few days later, once I kind of came out of that struggle, I would write how I did that. And it was just so, one, encouraging to see like the progress I was making in myself. And two, it really makes you reflect on yourself and your thoughts. People journal a lot of different ways. That's how I've always just journaled, though, is just kind of brain dump. And I just write down, like, it's kind of a conversation with myself. It's nothing too serious, and people do prompts and stuff, which I think can be useful as well if you can't just brain dump. But I like prayer journaling. I think that's the coolest thing, because you guys, I don't know if I've told you guys or not before, but it's actually really crazy. This is like one of my favorite stories. And I was talking to Taylor, my best friend back home, and she was saying how this was before we both had boyfriends, okay? We were very, very, very single. And we kind of made a joke about, like, we're going to be single forever. Like, we just kept doing circles. Like, we just weren't finding any guys. Like, every guy seemed to be the same. And she's talking to me, and she's like, Chloe, I don't remember if she saw this on TikTok or if she was talking to a friend, but she heard it from somebody, somewhere. And they were saying how they literally prayed for their future boyfriend, specifically, like, wrote out in a journal, I pray that he is this. I pray that he is this. I pray that he is this. And she was reflecting back on her journal entries, okay, like a month or two later. And she literally snapped at me. She was like in tears. And she was like, Chloe, I forgot I did this. I was looking through my journal entries and I found this like entry of me praying for my future boyfriend, future husband. And it verbatim, you guys, her now boyfriend fit every single one of those prayers. And like, she read them to me and I'm like, that's him, that's him, that's him, that's him, down to like literally specific like characteristics and traits, like the color of his eyes and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, God is so good and he answers your prayers. He really, really does. And you just have to be willing to be like, you can be specific. It sounds crazy, but I was like, if it works for her, I'm going to do it for my, what do I have to lose at this point? Lord, please help me. And so the next day, or maybe that day of, I did that exact journal entry and I prayed for all of these different things. I prayed that he'd be my biggest cheerleader. I prayed that he'd be best friends with my brother. I prayed that he would support me and pull me out of my comfort zone and bring me closer to God. You guys, like, I met my now boyfriend, Kyler, which you guys have probably met now if you watch the podcast. He's been on 2 episodes, the one last week and then 3 weeks ago. But he was every single one of those prayers that I wrote down, you guys. And it was like so unreal. Like, it gives me chills just like thinking about it, because it happened for Taylor, it happened for me. Like, it can happen for you. Pray about it, be specific. And it doesn't have to just be about a boyfriend. That's very, like, I know that's not all of your guys' biggest needs, but like, you can pray to God and ask God for things like that and make it specific and write it down. And I just think, like, if I hadn't been daily journaling, that would have not been a prayer that I prayed. And it's so cool that I have it written on paper to like look back to. That's kind of how I feel about my vlogs even too, is like I can look back at these memories and see them. So it's a way of kind of documenting that progress in yourself, I guess. So journaling's so huge for me, and it really just allows me to check in with myself, because I think we neglect that a lot and we forget to kind of see how we're doing, you know? And I think it's really great too to journal what you're grateful for, because it really does bring you a lot of gratitude. And I think gratitude generates positivity, and positivity, the more you give off, the more you receive. And I truly believe in that. And I think reminding yourself of all the good in your life can be so beneficial, and I like to do that throughout my journals as well. Me and Kyler started this thing actually, and it's really sweet. It was his idea, but we got journals together and we journal about our future, and we journal about what we're grateful for now and what we hope for the future. And it's just something that we kind of do together, and it's really cool. So yeah, you can utilize journaling in a lot of different ways, but it's so helpful. And I never used to do it, and I used to go through waves, but like, it is something that is like a non-negotiable now for me in the mornings. I love to journal, even if it's a quick little one. Sometimes I fill up a whole page, sometimes it's a few sentences, but I just keep that habit and that routine of it. And it's just great. It's a great habit. But along with that, I love to read a book. So I always have like, I don't read really much, like fiction books. I used to, and that's honestly what got me into reading. So if you're not into reading at all, start in the fiction, start with something that's fun and entertaining. But now I'm really into like self-help books and mindset books and just anything that can kind of get the brain going and educate myself more. I love it. My favorite book of all time is The Power to Change. I have it linked on my Amazon storefront. I read this. This was the first book I read during the 75 Hard. It changed my life. It changed my perspective. It was so good. Like every single day I would be highlighting the heck out of it. And I'd be sharing it on my Insta story. I'm like, people need to see this. People need to see this. I don't even know. I probably overshared the whole book. Like the author, low key, sorry. I probably like exposed your whole book, but it was so good. Could not recommend that book enough to start from there. It just teaches you how to actually make lasting change and why you have kind of failed in the past. And it kind of comes from, he's a pastor. And I didn't realize that even when I bought it. It was kind of a whim thing that I purchased this book at Target one day. I was shopping for Christmas presents, saw this book, and I'm like, grabbed it, thinking I was going to gift it to someone, and then realized there was no one in my life. Like I had gifted everyone all their gifts, and I'm like, maybe I need it for myself. And I was like, selfishly, like, I did, and I'm glad that I did. And then I actually gave it to my brother and had him read it, and I'm gonna have Kyler read it next, and it's just so good. But now I'm reading the book called The Mountain Is You, and it's about self-sabotage and why we tend to have those behaviors. And that's been like a call out, like, dang, I didn't realize all of the self-sabotaging tendencies that I had in my life. So that's also a very, very good book. Kyler read that, and now I'm reading it, and Jake's reading it. So again, could not recommend those enough. I read Atomic Habits recently. That one was good. I just think I don't know. I learned a lot of that stuff in The Power to Change. I like The Power to Change more than Atomic Habits, but that was still a great book. So yeah, definitely read. I try to do 10 pages every single day. Again, that sometimes takes a bit. So I just try to read a little bit if I can, at least 5 pages. And another way I like to utilize that is if I don't have time in the mornings, because sometimes I'm a little rushed, because I also read my Bible. I read it on the Stairmaster at the gym, because I always do like a 10-minute warm-up before I lift, and 10 pages in 10 minutes takes me about a minute to read a page. Great way to get in reading. Habit stacking is huge. But then again, the third one was reading my Bible. I just make sure I'm in the Word once a day. It keeps it fresh in my mind, and I love doing it at the beginning of the day because it sets the tone, it sets my perspective, it keeps my mind and heart on Jesus, and there's always going to be a verse that just sticks with you and that guides you through the day. I believe God kind of does, he works his magic, like he gives you what you need, and I just love that. So I definitely try to utilize all 3 of those first thing in the morning. I sit on my little patio front porch area and I drink my coffee and I do that. But again, some days I'm not home in the mornings and I do it at night before bed or at a coffee shop when I'm working. I just make sure to get those in because mentally it like benefits me so much. Like tenfold. It's such a great way to start your day. Okay, now we're jumping to nutrition. These are really all over the place for tips, but for number 4, I have incorporating more healthy fats. This has been a game changer. This has been huge. I'm going to be honest. I kind of neglected healthy fats because I never tracked macros, but I'm aware of them clearly. And I'm a big volume eater. I have a really big appetite. And so I would prioritize volume. So eating a ton of veggies to feel full, have more food versus low volume foods, which are like your healthy fats. So your avocado, your coconut oil, olive oil, that kind of stuff, nut butters. I was kind of avoiding those, not avoiding intentionally, but I just wasn't ensuring to get them in every single meal. Like I put a little peanut butter in my proteins. Obviously I use a little oil when I cook, but I just wasn't utilizing it enough. And since then I've incorporated a lot of coconut oil into a lot of what I eat. I eat rice probably once a day, honestly. Kyler got me on this tip, but it's so good. I put coconut oil in my rice. I will never go back. It's so delicious. That's a great way to get it in. I also eat a ton more avocado. Avocado is great in my bowls, like my rice zucchini bowls. Nut butters, again, that's typical for me, but I still utilize that every single day. But it's made such a difference in my why can I not say this word? Satiating levels. Oh my gosh, you know what I'm trying to say? Why am I like brain farting right now? Society. No, I'm saying I'm glitching. I'm literally glitching. Anyway, I'm a lot fuller and I'm a lot more satisfied after my meal. Satiating, that's the word. My meals are a lot more satiating when I have those fats in them. I'm not really like craving more after the bowl's gone, or, and it keeps you full longer. Like a healthy fat will keep you full for a long time, and it's so good for your hair and your skin, and I am reaping the benefits of that. I feel like my hair is a lot more silky and smooth and shiny, and I feel like my skin as well is more glowy because of this. So don't be afraid of the healthy fats, you guys. They're so important, especially females. Like, we need healthy fats, okay? They're good for our hormones as well. Don't neglect them, okay? Do not neglect them. Coconut oil, avocado, and nut butters are my favorite. Get them in every meal, okay? Do not shy away from them. Very passionate about this one. Okay, and then the next one is, oh, I love this. A new kind of thing that I've recently realized the importance of, and I've made a habit, and I've made a very, I'm kind of hard, I'm very just strict on not missing this, is having a midweek social event. So mine is typically Rally, which is my young adults night at my church. This is a huge social event. Pretty much most of my community and most of my friends are from church, so it's kind of a fun hangout. People linger in the lobby before. There's the whole service, there's 600 people there. It's crazy. And then everyone kind of lingers and mingles at the end. And it's so nice just to catch up, chat. It's good for your social skills. It's good to catch up with friends. You meet new friends. It's just such a great way, especially if you're trying to get plugged in somewhere in a new community, in a new city, in a new town. Go to an event like this. If you're not Christian, I get not everyone is. Second way that I've incorporated more of a social event every single week is joining a run club. Well, I don't really join it. You just kind of show up. You don't have to register, sign up for them. But they're huge right now. I feel like they're the craze right now. Everyone's doing them. Every city has them. They are so much fun. It's typically, I think all of them might vary a little bit, but it's typically about a 5K. The one here in Scottsdale is Saturday mornings and then Wednesday nights. So much fun. I bring my friends. I have some friends from church that I do it with. I bring Jake and Kyler and Emma sometimes. It's just so much fun to get out of the house, be around a lot of people. It kind of gave me the chills last time one of the nights, because I was thinking, instead of doing whatever we could be doing, we're all coming together to better ourselves, be outside in nature, move our bodies, be healthy, run. Running's hard. Running's not hard, and we're all up for the challenge, and it's just so fun, and you can meet so many people. It's a great way to network and connect, especially if you're new to a city. Like I said, my run club does a thing where if you're new, you can go up and kind of give an intro of who you are, your name, where you're from, a fun fact about you. So it's made to make friends and connect and network. So utilizing those type of things throughout your city and throughout your week are so important. They have helped me a lot. Just get out of the house, because I'll be honest, especially when I get into relationships and I have a tight-knit friend group, I neglect going out because I'm comfortable. I'm in my environment. I love spending time with those people. So I just get comfortable day to day. And then I realize oh, I haven't gone out of the house and done anything for a week straight. So I really prioritize utilizing church and those run clubs to get out and socialize and hang out with other people, meet people, and just be around a community. It's fun, especially as an ex-athlete. I miss having a team feeling and just having a group of some people or of some sort. Just, it's a good feeling. It's really, really fun. Definitely recommend it if you're wanting to get into running too. It's a great way to start. My run club, there's all different speeds, and I feel the faster people who maybe run an 8:30, 9-minute mile run to the front, and then there's the 10:30, 11-minute pace in the back. Some people walk it. It really is made for everyone. I thought about starting my own, honestly, and I think that'd be really cool. So maybe one day, but definitely check into young adults nights at your church and run clubs. But yeah, I incorporate a midweek social event every single week, and it's so good. Another habit that this kind of stems from that one, is just getting out more in general. I used to just always stay home and edit and work, and I kind of got back into that habit and just recently started going to coffee shops again, and I swear I get 5 times the amount of work done at a coffee shop in half the time. And I'm just so much more motivated because I see so many other people my age who are also there working, and it keeps me motivated and it keeps me hustling, and it's kind of inspiring and motivating just to see other people kind of in their flow, and it's a cool way to, again, connect and meet people. You never know who you're going to see and meet. I had a cool connection actually last week with a friend from church. He was in a meeting for his podcast, and then he introduced me to his PR agent. And it's just, you never know when you're going to run into somebody. So putting yourself in situations for those things to happen are huge. And it can be something as simple as going to a coffee shop to work instead of sitting at your kitchen table like I tend to do and edit. I just love it. I really do. And it makes me feel like I'm getting out of the house more. And low-key, the lattes are fire. So I will spend $6 on my little coffee. But I think that's important, just to get out more. That's the way I kind of get out of the house more, just because I don't have like an office. Otherwise, again, too, you can utilize those church things as getting out of the house more, or joining a Bible study. I do that every other week. I have a Bible study group, and I never miss, like, ever. Like, I do anything and everything to get to those, because they're so important for me. Just again, to have another source of community, especially within my faith, that's huge for me, because being surrounded by those people keeps me on that track and keeps me just like headed towards God, because it's easy to get like diverted off. And it's important to have those people in your life. So joining a Bible study is also a great like way to get out more. But the next one, oh, I love this one. So I actually got this from a podcast, an Ed Millett podcast, and he was talking all about visualization. And I did not realize the importance of this. And since then, I can like attest to it. It's so huge and it's so important, and it is proven to actually be beneficial, is visualizing yourself accomplishing your goals. So I know we always sit there and we think about what we want in life. We think about all of our goals, everything we want to achieve. But do we really sit there and think and see ourselves doing it? Probably not. And what I did this without realizing I was doing this. Back when I was training for my first half marathon, I would be running and I would start envisioning myself crossing the finish line of the race, and it would give me the chills. It would make me emotional. It would get me like hyped. I would start running faster. They get me so excited. And it's like visualizing yourself doing that is literally training your brain to believe you're already doing it. You're already accomplishing it. You already did it. And our mind is so powerful. So if we can literally visualize ourselves doing it, and we do that repeatedly, we literally will convince ourselves like it's already happened. And it makes it that much easier for it to actually happen. So when you have dreams and goals that you want to accomplish and do, visualize yourself doing it, and I promise you it will make them come to fruition so much faster. It literally convinces yourself and pretty much reminds and tells yourself like that is possible and that is going to happen. And if you can see yourself doing it, you just got to follow the steps to accomplish it, you know? So I do that a lot. That's again too, like when I was saying Kyler and I started journaling, that's like a big thing that we journal about, is like visualizing, or like we journal like what it would look like to do this, or what our future will literally look like, not just what we want it to like seem like you get specific about it. Like don't just kind of mildly visualize it, like visualize it so specifically. What are you wearing? What's it smell like outside? Like all the specific details, and really make it feel real. But do that in every area of your life. Visualize yourself acing a test. Visualize yourself walking into the room, sitting at the table, like writing your name down on the paper, like flying through it, turning it in, like receiving the A on it when you check your grade back. Like actually visualize yourself doing these things. And I promise you, I think it just makes you realize it's really not that hard too. Like you can see yourself doing it, and it paints that picture and puts into perspective. And it really makes it seem so much more attainable. And I think that's kind of my new approach to a lot of these goals that I do have. So utilize visualization, journal about it, do it. If there's anything you're working towards, start visualizing it. It's a game changer. It really, really is. Okay, another habit that I have begun and I love, this one's special. I quit just texting people. I started calling people more. I used to hate calling people on the phone. I think it's just because I would get nervous. I'm kind of like anti-social. I'm introverted, so chatting and conversations were just not my cup of tea. But the more that I hang out with like Jake and Kyler, they're big on the phone talkers, and I just realized how important it is to actually have like conversation. So every time I hop in the car, sometimes when I go on a walk, like I said, sometimes at the gym, on the stairs or something, I give a family member or a friend a call, or a FaceTime, and it's so important, to like see their face, to connect with them on FaceTime. Like I love doing that. Like my client, our check-in calls are like FaceTime chats, because I like to see her and I like her to see me, and we have like more, I feel like in-depth conversations, and it feels like she's here, even though she's on literally the other side of the country on the East Coast. But I love doing that, and it's so important, and it's just so crucial to keep those connections in your life with your friends, and it's easy to neglect, especially if you're like me and you live across the country from a lot of people in your life. Call them on the phone, check in. I need to do it more even than I do. Like, you can never really do it enough, but I call my mom, I call my dad, like I should call my brother more. I love chatting, and it's so good, and it just keeps those relationships healthy. And again, too, like, you never know where the conversations are going to go. You'll probably hear something, say something, learn something that you needed, so quit just texting. It's the easy way out, honestly. It's kind of non-personal. It's just, like, I don't really like texting anymore. Like, I never text people back. It's bad, but I've, like, taken on the mindset, like, if they really need me, they'll call. Well, that's probably not the case for most people, but I wish it was. Because I used to be them and never call, but now it's like, if you need to get a hold of me, just call me. And like, that's how Kyle and I communicate. We really don't text throughout the day. That was a big shift I had to adjust to, and I hated it at first, because any person that I'd ever dated in the past or like talked to, we would text or Snapchat like 24/7. Now that him and I do that we like don't text or Snapchat. I don't even have Kyle on Snapchat. Like, we've never added each other on there. I love that, but I save so much time. I'm on my phone so much less. Like, the conversations that you're having are so like dumb, and I can learn everything I need to learn by calling him. He calls me probably, I usually let him call me because he's on the phone a lot for work, so I never want to call him and like interrupt a call, but he'll call me and check in, and like he'll call me in the mornings usually, and then he'll call me in the afternoon, and then he'll call me at night, and we just like check in throughout the day. So simple, so good, real connection, real conversation. Like, I'm over texting. Texting's out. Calling on the phone is in. FaceTime is even better in my opinion. But start calling more, you guys. Ditch the texting. I only text when it's something like quick, short, and I like in the moment need to like sit, like kind of remind myself of. Otherwise, I'd be making that call. Okay, another habit. Oh, this is so fun. This isn't really like a habit, but this is something I've incorporated into my life more, and I just absolutely love it. But like making meals together with your friends. Jake, Emma, Kyler, and I do this probably once a week. We typically do it like Sunday nights, but we'll like grill and cook. The boys will make the meat. Me and Emma, us girls will like make the sides. It's typically like a salad, potatoes, something like that. But it's so fun, and we all just sit around the kitchen table and we just sit and eat, and we're like present with each other, and we're not on our phones. We're not like half paying attention to conversations. Like, we're just chatting and hanging out, and it's so good for the soul, and it's so good for your like relationships and friendships. So if you guys can like host like little dinner nights, I know this probably isn't realistic for everyone, but if you have like some friends, like girlfriends or some of your guy friends, like just cook a meal together. It's so simple. You have to eat anyways, so you might as well like go out of your way to do that, and just be present when you're eating. I guess even if you don't cook and you're grabbing food or something, when you're sitting having a meal with someone, like put the phone away. I take a photo of my meal typically, and then that's it. Put it down and just like chat and be present. That has been huge for me, because I've realized since doing that how often I go to pick up my phone throughout those, like the tendency to reach for it. And now that I've done it less and less, it's not a tendency anymore, but at first it was. But yeah, it really benefits your relationships, your friendships. They're more rich, they're more in depth. Like, it's just really good for the soul, like I said. It's just so fun. Like, you really feel like you're like kind of romanticizing your life. It's sweet. It feels like a movie sometimes. Like, we're all cooking and we sit and then we pray and we eat. And it's just a really good way to like end the night too, especially on a Sunday. But that's something we've incorporated, and I love it. And yeah, that's my list of habits and things that I've incorporated in my life recently that I love. But I can probably do a part 2, because I know there's many more, but I don't want this to be too long. Try these out. Let me know what you think. I'm going to run through the list one more time just to recap it. So number 1 was your daily walk in the sunshine, if you can, or a sunset. Drink your water. Journal daily. Read a book and read your Bible. It will change your life. Eat more healthy fats, friends. Eat more healthy fats. Midweek, get out and socialize some way or another. Be out in community, find community. And the next one is just getting out more in general. If you can, work at a coffee shop or go walk around town if you can. Just like get out of the house, because it can be so easy to just kind of isolate yourself and like be a homebody, and I just don't think that's great. The next one is visualize your future, visualize your goals, see yourself accomplishing these things. call friends, call family, quit texting. Texting's the easy way out, I'm telling you. And then make meals together. Cook, be present with your friends, be present with your family. Just put the phone down and just chat and hang out. It will change your life. But anyway, that's all I have to say this week. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will chat later. Bye, guys. Oh, actually, before I go, next week we'll be having a fun little guest on. I'm going back home to Iowa, and I'm so excited. I'm going to be having my brother Anthony on the podcast, so be looking forward to that because I know the OGs love a little Anthony insight, and I haven't sat down and chatted with him in a minute. So this podcast episode is going to be loaded with so much good conversation. I'm really excited. So look forward to that for next week. And I love you. Have a blessed little night or day whenever you're listening or watching this. I love you. Bye.